I'm at home. That will be also decided by society. This thing is just like this Queen Elizabeth way of leading. She was onto something that will actually benefit the humanity as a whole, but then it had glitches, it had flaws, right? Just because we are human beings. Even with this thing called the system in Eswatini, it's actually for a good cause, but it's being used selfishly. The government should use that kind of system. Bring forth a suggestion which could be actually interacted with, not to impose, not to dictate. Put forth a question. What do you think about this? What does the population actually think about? Comment down below. Use the poll thing. The results are there. There's no space for rigging the results. Hello, elements. I hope you guys are good. Today, I'm at home. It's a Saturday, and the sun is scorching. So, I'm at home, and today we're making this video from the comfort of my home. Ta-da! Okay, so today will be the last chapter, which is part 3 of our element era, and I brought notes today because wow, I have to summarize this thing in style, summarize it and put a full stop on it. Should be the last video of our element era. Let's put this here. Oh, perfect. Okay, so these are my notes for today. Today I'll be speaking from notes. I hope you enjoy this. Okay, first and foremost, just to start off everything, the only thing that is holding us back from evolving is the ego, is our ego, because we've been extremely fed with information that doesn't resonate with our souls for so long, such that we don't want to believe that anything out of our ego is possible or correct or right. We just think that our ego is it. What we know is just what is, and what we don't know isn't, right? But then what if we could just open our minds to the fact that anything is possible? Whatever we want, we can have. What if? Let's just open up our minds to that. So let's not let the ego hold us back. Don't let what you know and what you've been told and what you believe in hold you back. Open up your mind a little bit. You might be surprised what you may learn or benefit from it, right? So that's what I'm here to say, that the ego is what is holding us back. And I really do not blame us. I don't blame humanity. A lot has been going on. Colonialism, slavery, a lot of brainwashing has happened. Right, a lot of brainwashing has been going on. Talking of colonization and slavery, let me address this part. Oh, may the Queen Elizabeth II soul rest in peace. I really, oh, pardon the chicken, I'm at home today. Okay, yes, I wanted to say that I really admired her. Before you think otherwise or get, oh, I thought you were a Pan-Africanist, blah, blah, blah. Yes, I am a Pan-Africanist, but I really admired her. You know what? Because I actually understand her vision. I understand where she was going with the vision. She just wanted a unity and peace. She just wanted to unite the whole world so that the world can live in unity and peace. But then, just because it was during the olden days, it was during those times when the war and suppression was a way to get people's attention. So she used this route of colonialism and slavery. I'm not saying it's okay, but it was what was right during her time. It was what was acceptable during her time. Right? It's just like this thing, there's this stand-up comedian who addressed the issue that somebody has been cancelled just because he hit a woman during the 50s. right? It was okay during the 50s. Hitting a woman was normal, was a norm during the 50s. So it can't be, you can't be punished for something that you did in the 50s when it was okay then, just because the rules have changed now. So I'm just saying that I don't think this thing of punishing a person for what they did in the past just because of the rules that are being put in place in the present. Let's make an example with myself right now. As I'm trying to propose this thing as the best way I possibly can, I can say that, okay, everyone can start at grassroots level to donate money towards this cause. I'm making an example. 20 years or 30 years down the line, donation is banned. I'm making an example. That it feels like people are being robbed of their energy, their hard-earned energy. So let's ban it. And somebody sits back and like, remember Element Era, how Element Era started? It was started through donations. She was such a dictator. Oh, did you hear? She sucked our energy off us. Oh, no. Now everybody is against me. Yet during my time, everybody was for me. Like, oh yes, we understand. Oh, donations. Donations, right? But then now that there's been a new law implemented, I will get punished for that, yet it was okay during my time. Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say with this thing. Queen Elizabeth had a very good vision. It's just the implication part is not in line with our societal norms and standards nowadays. Yet during those days, it was okay. Another one will argue that, oh, but then she continued suppressing other races, blah, 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 blah. I'm saying I don't care about that. Everyone is not flawless. Everybody has flaws in this world. So just pick what you like and ignore the flaws. This, I can make a good example about family. When you're the leader or the parent in a family, you're bound to make mistakes here and there. If your children can organize a strike against you, you know how much fault they can outline. So yes, they're only there because you're a good leader, not because you don't have flaws. That's what every leader does. Every leader thinks and wants the best for his or her people. But then, because as human beings we have flaws, we're bound to fuck up, right? So exactly, that's what happened. Otherwise, I really admired the Queen. She had a very good vision and she implemented it wisely according to her and her era. Yes, some of the things she did were out of this world and absurd and racially wrong, but then she was old. Not that I'm trying to defend her, but then it's true. She was old. She carried these societal norms and standards with her. For example, somebody who was raised in the 1950s in my country still shines upon the fact that a whole woman can wear pants. Are you a man? So imagine, will you hate him or her for that? No. It's what he believed in during his times, and it's so hard to lose it moving on, to unlearn that moving on, right? So this is what happened with the Queen. She was an old leader, had her societal norms and standards brought forth to our era. So we cannot punish her or blame her for that. And please don't forget about this apologies thing. As a parent, as a leader in a family, you know how impossible this apology thing is. One, you feel like you're degrading yourself, but then you have to calm down. Come to the level of your people and actually apologize. And sometimes it's just a lot. You just don't know what you've done wrong, and you cannot apologize when you don't know what you did wrong. It might have been wrong to the person, but then to you, you're just like, what am I apologizing for, right? So I just go on and on about this, but then it will never end because people are always looking at your flaws other than looking at the bigger picture. So let's get into our topic for today. Today we shall be finishing off the Element Era. This is the third part 3, the last part. So let's wind it up and finish it up at once. So my implementation, what I propose or what I suggest should be done. And again, I'm not saying this thing should be done. It's just a suggestion I'm making. If people want to roll with the ball, then it's okay. I'd be happy that I actually kicked it to roll it towards the appropriate or relevant people, right? I passed it to them. Exactly. So, and I'm not saying that it could or can be implemented right now. It may take 1,000 years, it may take 2,000 years, but I'd be happy to be the one who actually passed it to the relevant people. By relevant, I mean in the correct authority and correct generation, right? Okay, so as I said, there are three crucial needs for living things to survive. It's love, fuel, and good health. We'll not go back to that. So I think that how do we implement the love part of these aspects? So having family, by family, I have a definition of family. Family are souls that actually resonate with you because of blood or because of love, right? So that's what defines family: love and blood. So family, having people around you, the relevant people around you, can help us grow. And at this money era we're moving in, we tend to lose family because someone has to go live somewhere close to work, leaving his or her family behind to actually get money. So with this era, this thing would be eliminated because you will be able to live with your family while actually serving your sole purpose and giving back to the community in return, right? So love, just like that, is put in place. And then also with love comes shelter. How are you and your family? By family, I don't mean people related to you by blood. Remember that. It's by blood and by love, right? So how are you going to live with your family? I have also suggested a way of shelterizing everyone. I believe that the energy, the universe, God, however you choose to call it, will not allow something to happen that cannot actually sustain itself. I believe that the world population can be actually sustained by the earth, which means that we have enough land for everyone, right? So what I think is every family should get a reasonable amount of land, whereby there will be a standard that every family fences or demarcates its land using vegetation, be it grass, be it the hedge, be it trees, whatever form of vegetation you can grow to demarcate your area, right? And then there will be a standard that each family member is built free of charge a very good house, good quality house, with 2 bedrooms and every other amenities, the kitchen, running water, bathroom and toilet, sitting room, and 2 bedrooms, so that a family is actually given the chance to have 1 child, right? A minimum of 1 child, hence the other bedroom. 2 bedrooms, the other one for the parents and the other one's for the baby, right? So they're given the chance to have 1 child. So if a family member decides that they will have more than 1 child, then they can use their time. As I said, time could be the fairest mode of exchange to be used. Then they can use their time earned to actually extend their house. Either they could extend their house or buy another home where the other child can live when the child is old. I'll get to that. So a 2-bedroom house to cater for 1 baby, and then a back room house could be built By back room, I mean that a house that is comfortable enough to be a hospital of some sort. Have drips, have these EMRs, machines, have this and this and that, all that in the house. A one big room house with a bathroom and a toilet. So what's the plan here? The plan is the parents would have their bedroom and live with the baby. The baby grows and wants to marry. That's when the parents will move to the backroom house, where they'll be taken care of by a nurse free of charge until they die of old age. The backroom will be for that, to take care of these old fragile vessels or bodies until they die. So it will be comfortable enough for them. It will be such a form of a hotel and hospital in one. Something like that, whereby a nurse will take care of them free of charge until their death. And each household has a garden. It will be mandatory for each household to have a garden and an orchard. Two, an orchard and a garden, mandatory. Grow fruits, grow vegetables to actually feed your family. Vegetables will not be given free of charge. Vegetables will be grown in your garden. And there will be an insurance company in place to actually note down that, oh, this person actually tried to grow vegetables but they did not grow. Then that's when you are given vegetables free of charge by the government. But then if you just relax and was like, I will just trick the insurance, then you're inviting bad karma into your life. So if you didn't grow vegetables purposely, then you are allowed to buy them using your time or whatever currency we have implemented or adopted during the element era. It feels like prison, I know, but it's the only fair and most comfortable way people can actually coexist, right, as a family and as a nation and as the human race, right? With that being said, let's say the baby doesn't want to marry, or the baby decides to have more than one partner, right? If the baby decides to have more than one partner, they will decide whether that child will go and live in that one's house, or they come to this one's house. If the baby decides to marry, their partner can choose to come and live in this house, or this one can go and live to that one's house, leaving the vacant house up for sale to anyone who has had more than one baby. I hope it makes sense. So if the baby decides to have more than one partner, he or she can decide that he keeps the house until he dies, and then it's up for sale, or he moves in with one of his or her partners. It will make sense. It's up to be evolved and perfected. It's just a thought from an individual, which is me, trying by all means to make a peaceful world and all that, but then I can't decide all by myself what is and what isn't. And clothes, coming to clothes, the shelter part, I just hope it makes sense. A family is given a chance to have one free baby. They will decide and know or make a plan as to where the second baby will have his home, family home. In summary of this shelter thing, each couple will be given enough land and a two-bedroom house to raise one child. If they have more than two children, then as the children grows, or as the children both want to marry, then there will be the ones who will take responsibility of the second, third, fourth, fifth child's or children's marriage, home or house, right? And each elderly people will be allowed to work from 19 to 50 years old and retire. Babies, children and babies below the age of 18 will be given free time, maybe 2 hours, who knows, it will just be up to the society. And then elders above the age of 50 will also be given free time. Then we come to clothes. Each individual should be given a minimum of 6 clothes so that he or she can wear them for the 5 days, and on the 6th day he can decide to wash or whatever. But whatever you decide to do with them, 6 clothes is enough. And even there, the society will have to decide as to how many clothes are needed. The minimum, not luxury. The minimum number of clothes a person needs, including sleepwear and winter wear. That will be also decided by society. I'll get to how I feel like society will decide. And I feel like in each and every age range, like maybe for example from 0 to 3 years, we know that they wear almost the same size. So a baby is given clothes according to their age range, just something like that. And then fuel. I feel like people should get free of charge monthly groceries, and what will be bought and their quantities will depend on the size of the family and what society decided to categorize as basic needs. Even with the grocery, we provide basic needs, not luxury, right? And water. There'll be free water connections in people's houses with free water going in and out, like inlets and outlets, and recycling, water purification and recycling of the water. Everything will be done, will be done free of charge. Free water, free electricity, free everything. Good health. I believe that each person should have a free medical aid whereby they can go to the hospital free of charge, everything done free of charge, but then with a catch. If you are actually provided with medical assistance in line with the traditional way, given herbs, given healing concoctions and all that, the organic way, that's given to you free of charge. But if you want the inorganic way, the chemicals way, what we're using right now, syrups and all that, chemical syrups and chemical pills, then you have to add in your minutes. It's a way of phasing out these ingestion of harmful chemicals, because truth be told, I will have this thing as a separate topic, the healing your body with herbs. Truth be told, these chemicals will keep on ingesting. For example, Panadol. If you feel like you are in pain, you will ingest a Panadol. It will numb the symptom, which is pain and pulsating of the head. But then, truth be told, in the long run, if you keep on ingesting it, there will be side effects like heart failures and kidney stones and all that. So it does take care of the symptom, but then it produces another illness or adverse impact, and it only deals with the symptom, yet the herbs actually deal with the symptom and the root cause at the same time. For example, if you have a headache, the herbs will actually eliminate the pain while also inducing your sleep, because maybe your headache is due to lack of sleep. So the herb will actually eliminate the pain while inducing your sleep. It addresses both the root cause and the symptom, but we'll talk about that in another video. What I'm saying right now is that there will be free medical help in line with the organic treatment. Coming to education, there will be a time whereby a mentor, and that I'm not a teacher, but then I'm talking about this in my previous video. Go and check what this person will be doing in the school. This person will go there just like everybody else, work from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. just like everybody else, but then he or she will just go there and wait for the children to come by at and on or during their own comfortable time. So there will be an opening between 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. A baby can come at any time in between that interval, come in there, sit, meditate, and actually have a conversation with other babies in line with whatever they think or feel should be done. They can go in there, meditate, and actually exchange ideas and their imaginations, whereby their imaginations can be further developed. Check my previous video. I'm actually elaborating about education, the education system. And then family. as I have addressed it in my previous video, how I believe that babies should be interacted with, right? Not as babies like you don't know anything, but actually be engaged and heard. Check my previous video. I'm also addressing how I feel like children should be treated in this element era. The government will start at community level, move up to city level, move up to national level, and eventually being the AU. I believe that our government was onto something good, something that's actually fair, but then it's being used adversely. Let me elaborate here. This thing is just like this Queen Elizabeth way of leading. She was onto something that will actually benefit the humanity as a whole, but then it had glitches, it had flaws, right? Just because we are human beings. Even with this thing called the system, Eswatini, it's actually for a good cause, but it's being used selfishly. So what I'm saying is, if you can use this Tinkhundla system method as a way of implementing this element era, it could be for a good cause. Hear me out. The Tinkhundla systems, they're actually systems at community level, authorities or governance at authority level. If you can use that to actually register the number of families occupying that area, we would know how many beneficiaries are there to actually get these things, these services, free of charge. There will be actually a record of how many people are there, population, right? So if we use those systems to actually record these things, then we're doing it, we're using them all the better. So we use this system to actually know how many people are there in the community, so that we know how many people we have to feed, right? How many people we have to build for, how many people, right? Just to know the statistics, so that we know how to provide services at community level. Then those systems at community level report to town or city levels, right? Then that raises the number, knowing that in that city, how many people do we have to provide city services, city-based services, right? And then those cities report to national level. In Eswatini, how many people are there in order to provide national-based services, right? And those governments, those that are national, the national government will actually be able to report and discuss with the whole of AU, whereby all the nations come together to discuss their statistics, so that we know what we lack, or where we can evolve, where we can improve, or what we can just to monitor and evaluate, improve, because the mission here is to improve at the end of the day. So those should be the government, the governance hierarchy, right? I believe that's how it should be. With Eswatini, it's even perfect because these systems are already implemented, just that they are being used greedily, selfishly, for the wrong reason, right? But then Eswatini can be the perfect benchmark or experiment for this element era, because the systems are already in place, right? And with this element era, I believe that the power should rest on the people. The use of social media is really evolving. Social media is improving. It's really getting convenient for the people. If the government wants to implement a certain law, it will write it down and ask the people how it should be carried out, and then people will comment down below. Right? The government should use that kind of system. Bring forth a suggestion which could be actually interacted with, not to impose, not to dictate. Put forth a question: what do you think about this? The government is thinking of this, and this and that. What does the population actually think about? Comment down below. Then people will comment, blah 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 blah. With the government, there would be a leader, secretary, just like any other formal structure. People who actually sit down and write these things down, write the views down, do this and this and this, like put things in order, read the comments and write them down, right? Especially because people will comment they're rubbish. People sometimes comment rubbish, we know that. But then they will actually take down the valid points, right? Take them down, and then analyze it. And then come back again to say, oh, these are the valid points that we actually brought forth. Vote. Which one do you actually want to take? Use the poll thing. We have polls on social media, and the results are there. There's no space for rigging the results. People will actually vote, and then everybody will actually see these results. Oh, 70% did this. Oh, this was voted by 2% of the population. This was blah blah blah, something like that. You see, so everybody will see the results. There will be no riggings, and the highly voted opinion will be implemented. Let's use the power of social media. Social media has come to make our lives better, and for fairness, I believe that's it. And with also the government, this is how governments will go about to be elected. We locate someone who we feel like at area level, right? At Tinkudla system level, we elect the family or the person who we feel like has done a tremendous amount of work. We're actually seeing his or her work, and we feel like he is capable enough to represent the community, right? We choose that person, we vote for that person, and he represents us for a month, right? And then after that, we choose the next person. No person can get into office more than 2 months. So the rotation goes on and on and on until everybody has had the chance to actually represent the community or lead the community. Every family household, no matter how useless you feel like they are, after this person has been elected, we see the next best person, then until everybody has had the chance to actually lead. Because somebody may not be quite good at doing the work, but then is good at leading. So everybody should get the chance. And then again, the cycle continues until everyone has had the chance to lead the community, right? With the secretaries and his subordinates, those will come randomly depending on what the population has actually who the population has elected. And with them also, they can only go in office for a month. Even at city level and at national level. At city level, because we can't have the cycle. There are a lot of people at city level, so we can't have the cycle. We'll just elect them based on who we feel will help lead. But then nobody should be in office for more than a month, right? Even going up to the AU, people will be elected, and even the most useless person will have the chance to lead the government, the main government in the AU, because we shall just go with what who the nation has elected and voted for using social media. Everyone will have the chance, because social media has come to actually help us, guys, truth be told. Sorry, my phone was overheating. Okay, everyone, regardless of their social standards and authority, will have the chance to actually lead in the EU government for a month, and then somebody else will be elected. No one person will be allowed to go into office more than a month. So this thing looks so unpractical, and we just feel like we don't even know where to begin. So I'm here to also give pointers or to pass the ball and just shift it a bit to the relevant authorities, because I, for one, am useless. I'm just a nothing. Right now, I'm making these videos, nobody views them like that. I'm just making them for the generation in the 24th or 25th century, who knows. I'm just blabbing about. Nobody will even view these videos. So whoever in that era will be able to view the video. I don't know what it will look like or whatever, but then if somebody in this era views the video, let me just pass the ball to you. If somebody who is in power or has the authority to actually implement this era, I'm actually passing the ball to you because I am nothing. Right? I cannot implement anything. I'm just elements sitting here talking to myself. Right? So that's how I feel it should be done. We should start small. There is somebody, an unsung hero in my country. He is called Ila Penboy. Sifiso Ndlangamandla. Yes. So what he does is he tries to build houses for the homeless free of charge from donations from people in the country. He also feeds the less privileged once a while, right? So he's actually trying, but then with the economy and governance, he can't actually implement it because, wow, money, right? It always rolls back to money. So what I'm saying is, if there can be a way to be like taxes, you see, but charity taxes, everybody who is actually willing to donate can actually have a stop order that, okay, I'm donating this percentage of my income to this bank. For now that we're still living in the money worshipping area. So I'm passing the ball as to how we can start small at evolving to the Araman era. So a person, a working class person or working person, or anybody who has income, sufficient income to sustain his or her family and have actually surplus. My device is overheating, so I have an overheating device on my hands. Okay, a person can actually donate a certain percentage of their income to this bank account. I'm saying bank account because bank accounts are actually traceable. They have bank statements, right, whereby it is actually stated that this amount was deposited, this amount was deposited, this amount was withdrawn, right? So if you can have this separate bank account from taxes, because taxes have, well, overrated, too much corruption there, so let's not even address taxes. Taxes were the ones which were supposed to address such matters, but then they are just a lost cause. So in the meantime, I'm saying if we can start just opening a certain bank account, maybe like as a foundation bank account, right, whereby people actually deposit the money there, nowhere else but in that bank account, and then a monthly statement is produced to the public that this is the monthly statement, these were the deductions or withdrawals, right? So, and then the withdrawals are also accounted for. What were they for? We bring receipts and all that, signed and actually confirmed that this is the truth, right? So every transaction made should have backup proof as to why it was made. That is withdrawals. Bank statements are produced monthly. It should be a requirement that bank statements are produced monthly. It was what I wanted to do in my organization. I had formulated a foundation called the Beacon of Light. It was initially for babies, for underprivileged babies, to provide them and their families with free of charge food monthly. But then I failed dismally because I had submitted my proposal to relevant organizations, but then they thought that I was scamming them. I went on to try and actually ask the general public to embark on this journey with me, and they also failed, and I failed with them too because they also thought that I wanted to scam them. So I decided to make food, breakfasts and all that, to try and actually deposit whatever amount I have then in the account. But then inflation hit, so it seems like everything I do is a dead hand. So I'm about to give up. I just want to try this one last thing. And if I fail now, I then decide to give up. Then it means that it's not my thing. I thought it was a calling, but then it's not, right? So this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to implement this that way, that if anyone wanted to deposit money, they should deposit this in this separate bank account for transparency purposes. And every month, the statement is drawn and sent to each and everyone who has actually deposited money in the bank account, right, for transparency purposes. And every transaction made will be accompanied by a receipt, right, and also sent to the stakeholders. Let me call them stakeholders. That was the plan. So I'm saying if my plan fails, then I'm inviting the general population to actually look into this, that everybody who has income that is actually a surplus can then decide to donate it to this specific bank that will produce a bank statements monthly for transparency purposes. And then that money is actually used to provide. We start small, because I am 100% sure that as time goes by, people will then be involved in this. But then as it is starting off, a few people will be able to contribute, because everybody thinks that everything is a scam, right? But then with a few believers, we can actually start something. Maybe with the money we had, we provide, we start monthly. Every family or every household gets bread monthly, free of charge. And then as we recruit more and more people, the household will get bread weekly. And as we recruit, the household will get bread daily. Until we're able to even include sugar, we can include beans, we can include cooking oil, we can include this and this, the basic needs, right? By 2500 or 2090, who knows, maybe we shall be able to actually produce a balanced and luxurious meal for every household free of charge. And then we actually develop to providing free water. By the time it's 3,000 years, this plan will be implemented. Easy peasy, just a perfect flow, starting off with the money until everything is free of charge, until we actually do not need the money, right? Gradual change, right? Smooth introduction into this. I think that was the plan, right? For me, in my head, it looks fair, straight to the point, and doable. But then, I don't know really. I don't know. I feel like money, whoever made the statement money is the root of all evil, it actually is, because everybody's problems actually roll back to money. Like it or not, you can be the most comfortable person in the world, but then money controls you. Either way, we're all controlled by money, like it or not. So let's just eliminate this thing, let's eliminate the villain and substitute it for something better, right? If we actually want and feel the need to actually have something to exchange, use as a form of exchange in our society, then let's just have a completely different thing that is actually fair, right? That can actually exchange the energy put in, right? Because right now I am seeing people working 12 hours a day for peanuts, right? So let's put something, if we really need something as a form of exchange, let's put something up that, one, will not pollute the environment, two, will not control us, and three, will be fair, will be a fair exchange for your energy. That's why I'm saying time is the best reward for energy, because time will reciprocate the energy you've put in, right? Everybody has the exact amount of time in this world, 24 hours. Everybody has 24 hours. There's nobody who's more privileged than somebody else. We all have the same amount of time, and with good health, we all have the same amount of energy, right? So if we use the energy we all have equally and the time we all have equally, then it means that everybody has actually had a fighting chance, right? So that's why I'm saying if everybody can put in those things, and if we decide to have a form of exchange, it should actually be directly proportional to the time and energy put in. Not right now. Right now, people are actually, it's not fair. But then, I'm just blabbing. Anywho, love you, elements. Good day.